He conquered Europe. He crowned himself emperor. Millions feared his name, but in the end, even the greatest military genius could not escape history. How did the most powerful man in Europe lose everything? This is the incredible true story of Napoleon Bonaparte's final rise, tragic fall, and the legacy he left behind. By 1799, France was once again facing political instability. The government had become weak and unpopular. Napoleon had just returned from his Egyptian campaign. Although the military expedition had mixed results, he remained France's most celebrated general. Many politicians believed only one man could save the country. On November 9, 1799, Napoleon carried out the coup of 18 Brumaire. The Directory was overthrown, and a new government called the Consulate was established. Napoleon became the first consul of France, effectively making him the nation's most powerful leader. Over the next few years, he introduced major reforms. He reorganized the government, improved education, strengthened the economy, and created the Napoleonic Code, a legal system that influenced laws in many countries and still shapes parts of modern legal systems today. In 1804, Napoleon took another historic step. Inside Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, he crowned himself Emperor of the French. Instead of allowing the Pope to place the crown on his head, Napoleon placed it on himself, a powerful symbol that his authority came from his own achievements. His empire expanded rapidly. One by one, European armies fell before him. Victories at battles such as Austerlitz 1805 made Napoleon's reputation almost legendary. Many historians still consider Austerlitz one of the greatest military victories ever achieved. But success also brought overconfidence. In 1812, Napoleon made the decision that would change everything. He invaded Russia with the Grand Army, a force of more than 600,000 soldiers. It was one of the largest armies Europe had ever seen. However, the Russians avoided major battles. As they retreated, they destroyed crops, villages, and supplies behind them. When Napoleon finally reached Moscow, the city was nearly empty, and soon much of it was consumed by fire. Winter arrived early. Food became scarce. Freezing temperatures, disease, and starvation devastated the French army. Thousands died every day. The retreat from Russia became one of the greatest military disasters in history. Only a fraction of Napoleon's army returned. His enemies realized he was no longer invincible. European nations united against him. In 1814, Napoleon was forced to abdicate and was exiled to the island of Elba. Many believed his story had ended, but Napoleon refused to surrender. Less than a year later, he escaped Elba and returned to France. As he marched toward Paris, thousands of soldiers sent to arrest him instead joined his side. This extraordinary return became known as the 100 Days. Europe prepared for one final confrontation. On June 18, 1815, Napoleon faced the combined British and Prussian armies at the Battle of Waterloo in present-day Belgium. The battle lasted for hours. Napoleon fought with determination, but this time, his opponents held their ground. When Prussian reinforcements arrived, the outcome was decided. Napoleon suffered his final defeat. He surrendered and was sent into exile once again, this time to the remote island of Saint Helena in the South Atlantic Ocean. Far from Europe, he spent his remaining years reflecting on his extraordinary life. On May 5, 1821, Napoleon Bonaparte died at the age of 51. Even after his death, his influence never disappeared. His military strategies are still studied in military academies around the world. The Napoleonic Code continues to influence legal systems in many countries. His rise from an unknown artillery officer to Emperor of France remains one of history's most remarkable journeys. Some remember him as a brilliant military genius, Others see him as an ambitious ruler whose wars caused immense suffering. But almost everyone agrees on one thing. Napoleon Bonaparte changed Europe forever. His victories, his mistakes, his leadership, and his legacy continue to shape the way historians understand power, ambition, and history itself.